What's up, guys? A new episode of Meg on the Mic, and I have a very special guest because this is my first guest that has done the realm of media that he is doing. He's on TV, he's on social media, he's also in the sports world. Everybody give it up for Wes Wilson. Wes, how are you?
Good, thank you for having me.
I'm so excited.
Me too, actually.
Wait, so I need to divulge. I'm assuming, no, actually I know. People know a lot about you in sense of what you do in your most recent project. But
Yeah.
I want to get to know you on a real level as someone who just, I don't even watch TV.
Good.
I want to get to know you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wouldn't watch the show that I'm on either, so don't feel like you're like missing out. Yeah.
Okay, well that's, you know what, I'm going to watch it later in life, but I want to get to know you first, and it's great to do it in front of a camera, why not? So I think we'll just start with your background.
Yeah.
You said you're from Kansas City, Missouri, or you're from Missouri?
I'm from Columbia, Missouri, which is where the University of Missouri is, like right in the middle of the state, but all my family's from Western Missouri, which you would be surprised how often I have to tell people that Kansas City is in Missouri.
Are you serious? Oh, because they think Kansas.
Yes.
Are you joking?
Yeah.
You know what? America's education system is kind of going a little...
It's tough. And just geography, I love geography.
Yes.
Fun fact. And so it hurts me every time, I uncover that someone knows nothing.
Really?
Well, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Boston, but I don't tell people that because I have a love-hate with Boston.
What sports teams are you loyal to?
New York.
Really?
Knicks, Rangers, Jets, and Mets, which a lot of people debate me on the Jets and Mets part, but I like that it rhymes, and those are the two teams that I've been loyal to.
Well, I've lived here for 5 years, and
Yeah.
everyone who is more so than not is Jets, Mets, and Yankees, Giants.
Yes, absolutely.
So you're doing it right.
I'm doing it right. However, people always question me because I'm in sports. They're like, oh, why do you not go for more, winning teams? And I'm like,
dude, I get that
it's
actually
ridiculous.
bugs me.
Yeah.
I met someone the other day who grew up in Atlanta, and she was like, "Yeah, like I've been a Falcons fan forever, but like they like aren't any good, so like I choose a new team every year." And I was like, "That's not what. That's not the
bandwagoning
point of sports.
Yes.
The point of sports is rooting for a team that tortures you your whole fucking life,
Exactly.
until that one day when you're however old you are that they win.
It builds character.
It builds character, and then the
It
day
shows
that it
your
happens,
loyalty.
that your team wins a championship, like will change your life forever.
Peak life moment. It's a moment in life that you never forget. And that's what I'm holding out for. Because look, Jalen Brunson against the Celtics last night. Are you joking? The
he's
Celtics,
nasty.
when I first moved to New York City, or not the Celtics, the Knicks, when I first moved to New York City, were at the bottom of the barrel. They were like 11th seed, like at the very bottom, and they were not doing great. And so you got to really wait it out. But here, I'll get ahead of myself. We'll talk sports. We'll talk some sports. I want to know. Okay, so how long did you live in Missouri before you moved away? And then where was the first place you lived elsewhere?
Okay, so grew up in Missouri, graduated and moved to Bozeman, Montana. I played football in college
Really?
at Montana State University.
What position?
Safety.
No way.
Yeah.
And do you still like play a little, game of like tackle here and there? Or?
No, I do a flag football game with my boys every year. We have one Chiefs game that we all fly home for.
Yes.
And we call it the Bubba's Bowl. I actually haven't said this out loud
Bubba's Bowl?
to anyone before. Yeah, it's called the Bubba's Bowl. And flag football game, we have like two refs and we go let it rip. So that would be like the only time.
Wait, is there a specific matchup that the Chiefs go against that you guys meet up for? Or is it just a random day that you guys pick that you're like, okay, we're all available?
We try to pick a weekend that like as many people can make it to.
Yes.
So like, in the group chat when you're like all voting on shit.
Absolutely, which takes forever.
Yeah, so we'll throw in dates and then just like try to figure out a time we can all go.
So you went from Kansas City to Montana, and then where after that? You said you've been in New York City 5 years. Is that the next place after, or was there some sort of in-between period?
Okay, so then I redshirted, so I was there an extra semester.
Yeah.
So it was December 2017. Then I moved to New York because I just thought like this, not to be so corny, but
No, be corny.
the ceiling is endless here, and you can like make cool shit happen. And so I was like, let's do it. But I was fortunate enough. My dad's aunt is like the only family I have from Missouri who like lives in New York City.
So you saw someone else do that path, and you were like, okay, I can do it too.
Yeah, but she's like way older. Like we would stay with her when I was a kid, and I remember sleeping and hearing like the cabs honk at like 2 a.m. being like, this place is like kind of cool.
Yeah, you're like, this is where I'm destined to be. It's calling me, the concrete jungle.
And I just like I don't know, like chaos and like people everywhere. I just find it
You kind of give chaotic energy, but in a good way, in a really good way. But it's funny because you
take
do
that.
give like the Southern boy persona in a way, or like Midwestern. You don't really have the accent, but like you give that kind of energy. You also look like a surfer in a way.
Okay,
How do you
I'll
think?
take that.
How do you think growing up in Missouri, you know, really formed you though? Like, what did you take away from your childhood that you kind of are now?
Okay, well, people also love this. My mom is an OBGYN, and my dad
Slay.
is a cattle rancher.
Are you joking? So
So
you have
it's
both
like-
ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, so it's like a really interesting hybrid of like parents. I don't know. And we just like, we traveled a lot when I was little, and we would never vacation the same place. My dad wanted us to see new parts of the world and like just be exposed to everything or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'd been to my 50th state, like when I was 17.
You really do love geography then.
Yeah. So we've been around. And so like, I don't know if it was one thing or the other, but just a good like mix of everything. I went to public school, which I thought was really important, played sports.
Yeah. So you had a very normal upbringing. You weren't in the media world yet. You were just kind of, you know, living your life. Did you live on a farm? Like,
So we lived in town because my mom would never want to do that. But my dad commuted every day.
Gotcha.
And went out to the land. But we still like, it's still my dad's land, and there's like a barn and shit. So like, you can go stay out there if you want. But I lived in town.
Were you ever helping him on the cattle ranch?
I built fence as a fucking kid my whole life. Like it was hard. Yeah. And like drove tractors to mow pasture and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like not fun.
Do people know this very country side of you? Is this something you showcase a lot, or do you kind of hold that true to yourself?
No, I think I definitely don't like dress country at all. Well, that's not true. Like I try to wear like a lot of like I do it in subtle ways.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think people know that unless you've like done a little research.
Yeah.
Because I don't like talk about cows every day.
Yeah, no, who would want to talk about cows, you know?
My
a lot
dad
of
will
people are
talk to you.
scared of cows
My dad
nowadays
would come sit on this
anyways.
couch and he would talk to you about cows for 3 hours.
Well, I would love that because everyone's all about the almond milk and the oat milk now, and I'm a whole milk girly, and I eat real cheese and all that, so I'm a dairy girl through and through.
In your guys' fridge, when I creamed this coffee, it was real. It was 2% milk.
Which I'm shocked because we are in like a very hippie part of Brooklyn, but like good for us, good for overtime.
No, I was actually kind of stoked.
Yeah.
But same. So like real milk and beef. But
yes.
Here, not that you care.
No, I care. I want you to give me whatever you're willing to give me, and I do care.
Okay,
Just let that be
so
known.
there's a lot of people when you think of like having cows, you think of like the black and white Chick-fil-A cows, which are actually dairy cows.
Yes.
We're beef. We have beef cows.
So is that like the golden brown cow?
No, they're not like, if you're thinking of like beautiful, pretty, like
Honey
shampooed
colored,
cows,
yeah.
no. They're like, most are black.
Okay.
You'll get sometimes like a reddish brown.
Yes.
But they're Angus cows.
Really? I didn't know the color
so they're
was a
beef.
difference.
I mean, you could do either, but like the stereotypical black and white cow is usually a dairy cow.
No, so you know what's funny? It's like when you're a kid and you're driving past like cow farms and you know you do like the
Cows.
the person thing. You're like cows.
Yeah.
You see the brown and white cows though, and in your brain that's a chocolate milk cow, and then the black and white cow is the regular milk cow. So that's what goes on in my brain. But it's funny that there is some sort of logic, not with chocolate and regular milk, but that there is like Angus beef cows and then there's dairy cows. Shout out to the dairy industry because I love them and I love it.
I wonder if by the time we're like dead, if they will create cows that can produce chocolate milk with like stem cells and not AI, but like you know how they're like bringing back they're trying to like bring back dinosaurs and shit with
with DNA. They have woolly mammoth DNA that they find, and I love all that stuff like the science and history. I'm more of a history buff myself, but
are you?
I love history.
What's your favorite like period of history or like historical moment, or like what do you like?
Oh my God. So I read about the Gilded Age of New York City all the time.
Dope.
And there was this thing called the 400, which was a list of the 400 like top society families. And if you like were on that list, you were like doomed in society. But it was so cool. It was back when like, New Amsterdam was being formed and all these families were coming and people were settling in the land and kind of developing it themselves, since like those two big families were the Astors and the Vanderbilts, and so I love reading about them. They're so cool, and so that's like something that I'm obsessed with, and you can still see effects of it now today in New York City. You can still see some Gilded Age mansions and architecture.
Coolest New York history fact for me is that when they were like settling, so it probably would have been New Amsterdam at the time, like the southern tip of Manhattan, like the roads are all chaotic in like FIDI and shit, you know?
Yeah.
And then once you get to Houston Street, whatever period in time historically that would have been, which I think would have been, fuck, I don't want to get it wrong on the record.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
But that is when they implemented the grid system.
Yes.
And so whatever period in time they had expanded north to Houston Street, then they implemented the grid, and that's why it starts like right there.
Oh yeah.
And it's such a like northern ascending like.
The numbers and the avenues, they made it organized, the coordinate system in a sense, which is nice because if you know your north, south, east, and west, you can get around New York City no problem. People are like, oh, how do you know the city? I'm like, above
so
Houston
surprised.
Street, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, easiest thing in the world. But I used to live in FIDI and then Battery Park. That was like my first apartments by myself in New York City out of school, and it's a hot mess down there. But that's where every young person like settles. Like that was like my neighborhood eventually, and now I'm in the Upper East Side.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to Pace University.
Did you study like journalism? Or
I was in the business school, and then I started working overtime when I was 18, like a month into university. And so then I switched about a year in. I was business undecided. I was like, oh, maybe I'll be an accountant. And then I started working here, and I was like, all right, we're going to do the easy degree, which is communications and media studies. So that's what I graduated in 2023. So it's been a minute. But I've been here for 7 years now, which is crazy. And I understand that you also work within the sports media industry. Can you touch upon that?
We'll go back to like... Then I moved, slept on my aunt's couch for a long time, worked like a handful of shitty jobs.
Odd jobs.
Which like, okay, you know Paige.
Yes.
At Bleacher.
Paige, shout out Paige, by the way. I saw her at the NFL draft. Love her.
Her first job out of college was like Bleacher Report, and it sounds like you were like in here before you even graduated.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you guys didn't have to put in a year or two of like shitty New York jobs that are like not fun.
Well, how shitty were they? Can you give some like an example of like what were you doing?
The first like salary job I had in New York, I was selling print advertisements.
Oh, okay, that's kind of bad.
Yeah, dude, it was fucking crazy.
Print, no one even owns paper anymore. It's like a Dunder Mifflin.
That was insane.
Type job.
Yeah. However, I met like my core group of best friends in New York are all from that job.
Really?
Because it's everyone's like first job out of college, and
You're
you kind of
bonding.
are just like,
yeah,
you trauma bond together.
You do trauma bond. I like to call it resilience bonding now. My friend was like, instead of calling it trauma bonding, we say resilience bonding because now we're all stronger from it. But it does bring you.
That's fair.
It's a nice way of rebranding it. But yeah, no, it is definitely trauma bonding. All the awful, shitty work hours you have to do. But I did odd jobs at overtime before I became overtime Megan. Before I got a talent contract here, I was like staying late when the maids were here and cleaners, and I was locking up. I was doing my homework. It was like pitch black, and I had to like take the subway home at night because I was too poor to afford an Uber. So I did the girl.
Should we check with producers to confirm
no,
receipts?
I've been here longer.
Did she stay here? No,
I've been here longer than a lot of people.
Okay,
but Tom knows. Tom knows. They would be like sweeping under each desk, and I would have to like be like, "Can you get that? You missed that," because I would get in trouble if like they didn't do everything and I didn't like kind of keep tabs on them. And I would do my homework and I go to class the next day. I would work like 2 days a week. I earned my dues for sure. I'd replace the K-cups, do the dishes, the garbage. I did a lot of things along with actual office jobs that like I earned where I was now.
Hell yeah, you did.
You gotta do the icky stuff first.
Good.
So sorry, continue. Tell me about this print.
So while I had that shitty job, I did a food show with one of my good friends that we paid a camera guy off Craigslist who shot
oh my gosh.
who shot trans porn as his main stream of income.
Are you joking? That's
I swear
very
to God, we
specific.
hired him and then we asked him what he did. And he was like, oh, I like shoot trans porn. We're like, holy fuck, okay.
But was he at least a good
No,
cameraman?
he
He got
was
good
cool.
angles and all that?
He was cool and like good. Yeah, great angles.
That means he has good lighting too, hopefully. Yeah.
He knows what's up. And so I did this food show on the side, and then like kind of just like made an Instagram account for that, had a YouTube show.
So that was just digital content.
Yeah, and just kind of like a way to scratch the like creative itch on the side.
Yeah.
And then I like was so bad at that print ad sales job, got fired, and then was just applying to like the Overtimes, Bleacher Reports, complexes, whatever, and got an email from Bleacher Report. I guess I accidentally applied to be a producer for their that's when they started BR betting. Mm-hmm. And they like, I got the email. I was like, holy shit, they like want to talk to me. And then I reread the application. It said location Las Vegas mandatory.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, like I'm not gonna move to Vegas.
Like you had just gotten to New York City, essentially.
Yeah. I think I signed my first lease in New York like 2 months before I got this email.
Oh, and you can't break a lease unless you get someone to sublease it.
Oh,
That's a whole other stack of paperwork.
Sorry, I signed a new lease, but it was after a full year. So I've been in New York for a year, but like whatever. And then.
But breaking a lease in New York City is like, all hell breaks loose. Yeah.
Yeah. But so I talked to one guy I knew who worked at Bleacher Report, and he was like, dude, I think this would be worth it. Like they're like starting this betting page. Like you'll have like a very good foot in the door. So it was a 6-month contract, and I talked myself into it, and I moved to Vegas to help launch BR betting. And essentially that's like where it all started.
Really?
And this was before, like, I don't know how you feel about man on the street content now, but it's like so beat. In my opinion.
It's like, it's a dead horse now. Everyone does it. Yeah.
I, in my opinion, feel like I was early to MOS.
Yes.
And like doing street interviews and shit like that.
Yeah.
And so.
Which it feels pretty cool to be early in on like a trend or something like that. Yeah.
Which I'm sure obviously someone was before me, but like we were in Vegas and basically would just take like a mic and do like parlays. And I don't really even sports bet. I kind of like faked it the whole time.
Yeah, of course. Fake till you make it.
And just like did all these like street interviews, stuff like that with the goal to get promoted back to the New York office, because I also didn't want to do betting content forever.
So you said you're not a betting guy, but was it all sports betting though specifically?
Yeah.
Was it so you like sports?
The theme,
so it was like getting your foot in the door there.
Yeah, well, and like I know enough to like do that. You know what I mean? And it was also still Bleacher Reports. Like all the opportunities were dope. I just had to like essentially like do sports content and like hook everything with like some type of like betting tie. So it wasn't like that hard.
Did that grow? So before you started doing that, I mean, were you technically like on camera? Were you building your name through that? Like, and were you just kind of normal on social medias? Like, did you have like a private Instagram? Like, were you like keeping to yourself, or were you always kind of looking to put your name out there in the world?
I was always like making like I always felt like I was like doing cool stuff and like making content. So I've never considered myself like private or anything like that.
Yes.
But I wasn't like blue check marked 1,000 followers or anything like that. But I mean, I did build when I was at BR, I did build a light like following from just like the sports like audience that BR has.
Yeah.
It was nothing like Bravo women,
which
is insane, which we'll talk about in a little.
But you always knew you had the personality to, I guess, just be in front of the camera and be a talent. But growing up, did you know that's where you were going to end up? Or did you have an idea of where you wanted to go? Or was this something that just kind of fell into your hands as you kept going, like a snowball going down a mountain?
Yeah, good question. I mean, it's hard to say it without like sounding like a little douchey, but I always like
it's okay.
felt like I was like good on camera. And like I took my mom's video camera when I was a kid and always would like film my friends, and like I liked being on camera, I guess you could say.
Yeah, you just had the confidence.
Yeah, just like felt like it was always natural. Like it was never weird.
Yes.
And then in college, because you're obviously like doing media all the time with football.
Yeah.
Like that, like always was really natural, and like I don't know, like it just felt easy.
Yeah, no, it's not douchey at all. Like I think people are scared nowadays to admit that they had insight as to who they were and what talents they may have honed in on as a kid. So like, no, I always ask, because some people are like, oh yeah, like I fell into it, but it's like I think sometimes you just know intrinsically. I always knew that like I didn't manifest this, and that sounds douchey, but like as a teenager, I was like I would always look at Kendall Jenner's Instagram, and I'd be like I want to have followers one day. Like I want to be cool one day and like set trends. And I'm not exactly Kendall Jenner. I do sports, but I love where I'm at. It's funny. Sometimes you just like know you might end up somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy. Do you ever have like a full circle moment from like when you were a kid where you are now that you kind of look back and you're like, damn, like little Wes would be so impressed with me right now?
Yeah, a lot of the opportunities I've gotten the last year with like you talked about it when I walked in here, but like throwing a first pitch at like a Royals, like that stuff is like so cool, and you just never think you'll like get to do that. But
little Wes would be like psyched.
Yeah, that stuff's unreal.
What was that?
It's like always it like it's always forever going. You know?
Yes.
And you keep like stay hungry for like new stuff.
Absolutely.
But I'll say I think like you and I, like everyone's a fucking influencer now, you know? And I do think being on camera took a little more creativity. Like, I won't speak for you, but like when I started, when you like before 2020, before post-COVID.
Yes.
Like, I just don't think that was a career that like everyone thought was like
attainable.
And it also wasn't, the influencer word wasn't a thing. Like, it was just like, you had to be involved in some form of like a media company or something journalistic.
You had to have some cred.
Yeah, you couldn't just do the shit from your like room. Like, we had to like figure out how to like let someone give us the platform. Like, there were a
series. You had to really come up with the ideas, the outlines, the whole thing. Yeah. Now everyone's an influencer for just talking to their phone.
It's like less cool now. And so like when I was doing it though, I was always like, this is like what I'm like here to do, whether that's just, and like then it was still TikToks and Instagrams and stuff like that. But I was hired as a producer, but like it was a small startup team essentially. And so
just like here.
It was me and we brought in Chad Ochocinco as like our main talent. And so we would just go like literally film stuff all fall.
And so how many years were you guys doing, or how long were you doing the sports betting stuff before it transitioned into something else?
Just one. I did football season, and we were heading into March Madness, and then COVID hit.
Yes.
So they shut down all of our studios in Vegas, and basically I drove back to Missouri thinking that they were going to promote me back to New York. And then I did like during COVID, so no one was anywhere. And so I just switched teams. And then...
Did you stay in Missouri?
I stayed in Missouri for like 3 months, and then I moved back to New York like July of 2020.
Too much of mom and dad, or like too much of Missouri?
Yeah. I actually this is like a whole nother topic, but do you ever like miss COVID?
A little bit. Oh yeah. I miss the person I was during COVID. Like it was so fun.
Like the simplicity of it, and just like... And this is kind of corny also, but my dad was like, we'll never have this much family time ever again for the rest of our lives.
Oh, so true.
Because my brother lives in Chicago, and like my parents are like still at home, and
the bonding was unmatched.
Together for like 2 months straight, and like that'll never happen ever again.
It felt like one big sleepover, like the daily walks. We were like just making our house turned into like a big bar with just our family. My dad was like shaking up drinks every night, and we were just having campfires. And then I would go have like COVID hangouts with my friend in her driveway, and we'd sit 20 feet apart.
Dude, it was crazy.
It's so weird, but like I kind of look back, and even though it was history in our lives, but my God, was it's nostalgic a little bit.
Are your parents still in Mass?
Yeah, they're still in Massachusetts. They texted me last night about the Celtics, telling me I should switch over, and that was before the game. And then after they
you fully ditched like your
Boston
roots.
life. Yeah. I never really felt connected to my hometown though. I don't know if you feel connected to yours, but I was like a really, I guess, just like weird kid. Like I wasn't a popular kid. I did cheerleading and stuff like that, but I wasn't someone that like peaked in high school. So I never had a connection to my high school or my hometown. And most of my friends are in New York City. So like I always knew I was going to leave. From like the age of like 14, I knew I was going to get the heck out of here.
Whoa.
I was like, I'm getting out of Dodge. And so I never let myself get too comfortable in my own hometown.
What's your hometown's name? Is it like a suburb of Boston?
It's called Peabody.
Peabody?
Yeah, people say Peabody, but it's Peabody. It's one of those weird Boston town names.
Directionally from Boston, or is it?
20 minutes north in the North Shore.
So you're close.
Next to Salem, like the Salem Witch Trials. Yeah. So it's there. My parents are still there. I have some family in New York though, in the Upper East Side, like with me. So that's nice too. My sister's with me.
You fully avoided the like Patriots blanket.
Oh, I didn't go to one Patriots parade. I didn't go to one Celtics parade. I've never even owned a Celtics or Patriots jersey growing up. Like I was fully never like a Boston kid. Wow. I don't know why I never fed into it. Maybe the Red Sox a little bit, but I just was never.
Were you into sports as a kid?
I was, but I was never athletic. So that's the thing is like I was so klutzy and clumsy that I always like knew I liked sports, but I never felt like I could be involved in it because I was not like an athletic girl. So I did like cheerleading and pageants. And then when I moved here, I was like, wait, you can be whoever the hell you want to be. Yeah. So really moving to New York City is what like opened my mind. But no, I like never even watched a Bruins game growing up really. So it's like, it's so weird. Like I was never really a Boston kid in my brain. So when people are like, oh, you ditched your roots, I'm like, yeah, but I never felt like I had them. I never, I didn't love my hometown. Like, I don't know how you feel about yours, but like, I feel like so much life has happened to me since leaving my hometown that it just feels so distant and far away at this point.
Almost in like the polar opposite of you. When I moved for college, like grasped onto things from home that like made me feel more like me because I was in Montana, which was like super far.
Yes, very Midwest too.
Yeah, well, Montana is like Rocky Mountains.
Yeah. Oh, I like Wyoming, so I know I'd love Montana if I went. Yeah,
it's the best. But so like, obviously Missouri, there's not as many things as like a New York that you're gonna just be able to like spew at people that they know about.
Well, you got your sports.
Yeah, so like it's like barbecue and the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Or like the big things.
Are you a KC Royals fan after throwing that first, or because you threw the first pitch?
Royals and Chiefs.
And Chiefs.
Time. I will root for the Blues with playoff time.
That's what I wanted to ask.
Did you watch that game the other night?
No. But I saw some Instagram stories because I have some friends actually from Missouri. So I was on a bachelorette and 2 of the girls are actually from Missouri. And so we were talking about it and they were saying they're Blues fans. And I'm like, I don't think I've ever met a girl that's like a Blues fan ever. So I was like, it was cool. But have you been to a game before? Are you a hockey guy at all?
I am. I appreciate hockey. I've done more hockey for... Whoa, this is like the biggest story in my sports journalism career.
Wait,
if you have...
does it relate to your bio that says you're banned from the NHL? Yeah. I needed to ask about that. I didn't want to jump into those questions, but now I need to ask, why are you banned from the NHL?
Okay.
You even tagged them in your bio.
Are you like... Do you know who Gary Bettman is, the commissioner or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay. So when I was at Bleacher, we're owned by Turner. Mm-hmm. And Turner bought like NHL rights. So it was a big like Bleacher Report, NHL, let's have a call and like everyone, whatever.
Yeah.
And so they put Gary Bettman on to like, just for him to like pretend he's cool. Like it was so dumb. But I don't know. I was like bored and I was like, well, I'm going to ask a question. Like, why not?
Oh gosh.
So like put a hat on or like whatever and like turn my camera on. I was like, hi, Mr. Bettman. I'm Wes from Bleacher Report. Was curious. I know the NFL deals with this a lot, but like, where does hockey stand moving forward with the like increased media coverage of like head safety and protecting players like, you know, brains, whatever,
CTE,
but also keeping the like nature and history of the game like the way it's supposed to be played. Mm-hmm. But when I asked the question, I said the word violent, I think twice. Like I said, I don't remember how I like worded that word in there, but like turns out huge trigger word for the NHL.
Really?
So physical is what they want to promote, but if you call it violent, they like, no, it's not violent. Safest sport in the world.
I actually didn't know. I didn't know that was a trigger word.
I didn't know either until I said this. And he goes, he interrupted me and was like, hockey is not violent. It's physical, blah, 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 blah. Like, I guess we need to teach people at Bleacher Report more about hockey. You guys don't know anything, whatever. So like embarrassed me in front of everyone. And I was like, wow, got it. Like went on mute, just kind of like took it on the chin.
Yeah.
And I started getting all these slacks from everyone that was like, that was like a good question. Like, he's kind of like, he shouldn't have acted like that, blah, 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 blah.
Maybe if you don't know the terminology, it's different. If you were like attacking the NHL for violence, I get it. But like,
yeah. And also I meant it with like good intention. I was like, I just like a thing that like physical sports like have to deal with, like football and hockey, whatever. And then like my boss's boss called me and was like, dude, like the NHL is so mad at us. We have to pull you from every hockey game you're like slated for the rest of the year.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, dude, what is going on?
I would cry if I couldn't go to a hockey game.
Yeah. And so then I'm like pulled from everything. And then later in the year, they had no one, like Paige was busy. Yeah. So they had no one to cover game 6, I think. It was game 5 or game 6. Tampa, Colorado Avs. Oh. It was in Tampa. So they were like, they asked the NHL for permission, like, we have to send Wesley. We don't have anyone else. Is that okay? They were like, all right. Tampa wins. No, sorry, the Avs won. And I was on the ice, like, covering the celebration. And I had someone take a picture of me on the ice like this, and I tagged Gary Bettman above my head. Yeah, and then like an hour, yeah, I know, it's my fault. And then so an hour later, they were like, HR was like, are you an idiot?
How old were you? Wait, this was 2021 or 22?
22, maybe 21. I don't remember.
A little bit of young arrogance on the ice there.
So then they were like, you're an idiot. Like, what are you doing? Blah, 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 blah,
yeah.
blah.
You got like right to the finish line. Yeah. And then you were like, F it. And you turned right back around.
So then I thought it was over until like 6 months ago. Mm-hmm. Not even. The Blues hit me up and were like, hey, we're sending out like our care packages for the Winter Classic. Like, what size are you? Whatever. Turns out someone from NHL saw my name on their list and goes, remove him. He's like not a friend of the NHL.
Aww.
3 years later.
But you don't hate the NHL. No, you made a stance against.
But I think Gary Bettman's a crybaby, and now that they told the Blues to like take my name off everything, the war's back on. So they're back in my bio.
So you're an active. The war's back on. Yeah. I can't believe an entire franchise organization. That's crazy. I personally, I love hockey. I would cry if I couldn't go to a game. But like, it is a very. I do say. I get why the word violent is triggering because when it comes to physical contact is not inherently violent. However, contact sport. It can be malicious contact, which is violence, or it could be, I guess,
Yeah,
positive contact, which
I
is
thought that
not.
though for a while, and I was like, okay, I get it. And then I watch replays of like you are allowed to bare knuckle fight each other.
Oh yeah, they drop the gloves, drop the mitts.
That's when I'm just like, what a joke that he freaked out on me for that word of all things.
I think because the NHL, they keep things so buttoned up.
No, I
and like
know
classy,
why, but just like
their fighting is classy. Like if you fight in basketball or football, it's like that's bad.
No,
but if you
you're
fight
so
in the NHL,
right, actually.
they like handshake after.
No, that's actually a very good take by you. Like it's almost like a part of the game, and so it's not whatever. But then I'm just like, come on, man. But whatever. So that's where we are now.
Oh my God. Do you regret posting the story or? Are you like, eh? I'm sure if you bought a ticket to a game.
Not anymore, because it's like a good story. I think that's part of why. So I got laid off from Bleacher Report, a part of layoffs. This is a funny lead-in.
Oh God.
Yeah. So, then like Warner
After
Brothers
this?
or Disney. Yeah, after.
Okay.
This would have been in like 23, maybe.
Yes.
They kept Paige, not me.
Paige is a slay though.
Yeah, no, Paige.
But
is
I'm
crushing.
sorry that you got laid off.
No, it's okay. And they gave me like better severance than I could have ever imagined.
Yes.
So I'm like, it's all love.
Was it due to?
But I do think that whole situation was a big part of like, what happened, and I only think that because I talked to someone one time at like a match event or something, and they were like, we like weren't sure if we were gonna have to like fire you for that call. I was like, that seems like a stretch, but so whatever. Like other people got laid off, and I got laid off. Like a lot of people.
But you felt personally it was because of that reason.
You'll understand this a little bit, but because I did like face forward content, I took it extra personally because I thought that my personality and my face were a part of the brand.
Yeah.
And so getting told on a call that I'm like toast like right away.
You take it personally.
Yeah. And like, I wouldn't expect anyone to not take getting laid off personally, but that one hurt because I'd been there for a long time, had like good friends, and like put a lot into that company, you know?
Yeah, which naturally you're human. You're going to feel those emotions.
Yeah.
You can't, people are so used to being robots nowadays and not saying how they feel because they want a big dog, someone that did that did something to them. But no, I believe in just, being honest. I would be hurt too. But what's funny though is that I've had things happen to me that like I didn't know where my future was with my career. And I've had like really bad things happen to me that, the social media world has seen. And it's funny because nowadays, I feel like when people are, they see your face and personality and they know you as a persona attached to a company, and something bad happens to you, people expect immediate action. And it's kind of like this, like, you're off the chopping block right away.
Yeah.
And, in real life, that's not the way things work. Yeah. And I think we're just so used to, the cancel culture and being like, okay, you did one thing wrong, you're out. But like, I mean, thankfully, Overtime's like been super supportive of me, but it sucks because you do think about those things. And I would have taken it personally if like I got laid off, I would take it personal too.
The other hard thing too is like our jobs are so objectively they are cool.
Yes.
Right? And like we get to do a ton of cool things. Like if you and I went to a bar in New York and there were like 5 people in finance and us, like people wanted to ask me questions about
sports.
Yeah, like what game are you going to? Who did you interview? Whatever,
your
whatever.
Experiences.
And so then, not that we self-identify with the job, but just like over time and like people asking you about work and like all this shit, you like, that is a big part of your identity because we're doing cool shit. Yeah. And people are so interested.
But you're doing it just because of you. Like you are you.
And so then when that is taken away, like a big chunk of like the most exhausting part for me was like going out and people being like, what, like, who's your next interview or like whatever. Yeah. And you have to be like, either lie or then you have to unpack the 30-minute story on like how you got laid off and like what you're trying to do. And so that was almost more exhausting for me than like being laid off on its own.
Well, because normal people, They clock in 9 to 5.
Yeah.
They don't think about it. Their brain is turned off. They don't have to put any mental energy in terms of their personality, their emotions. They have no emotional ties to their job. They just have physically to be there. They have to use their skills. And then, at 5 o'clock, they clock out and they don't have to think about it. In this field, it really is just it's emotionally driven. It's your personality.
Yeah.
So you really are just being vulnerable, putting yourself out there. And it is obviously way more fun in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But the workload and everything, it doesn't even feel like work because you're just being yourself. So that's why we take it personal, especially with like cancel culture and just the way people are nowadays. Two characters on the internet, two figures on the internet and talent, because we actually put ourselves front and forward, and we're like, here I am. And so when people don't receive you well, you're like, damn, you're like, you don't like me. So it's different than like, getting laid off at a finance job where you're like, oh, okay, like you guys probably just didn't have the budget. Like it's different. No, 100%.
And so then, I learned a lot though from that layoff. I kind of thought I'd be able to because I'd met so many people in this world that I'd be able to get a job in like 5 seconds, and that was not the case at all.
It's pretty humbling sometimes.
So humbling.
Yeah.
I interviewed here. I forget who. I think I texted Day, and I was like, anything, or like, can you plug me up?
Yeah. Which Alex and me, I think, were doing a podcast at that time. Like
Probably.
He was still here. Yeah, if this is like 2023.
Like 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so annoyed. I would have advocated for you.
I know.
Damn, they should have put us together.
I'm trying to remember what the role. Probably something producer wise.
It was probably something like social producer, editor, something of that sort. Yeah.
Yeah. Here, and then it just so happened as my severance was ending. Actually, it was the day my severance ended. I checked my voicemail. I was like so down bad.
Yeah.
And someone was like, "Hey, we're going about a TV show. If you're interested, call us back." Mm-hmm. Bleacher Report would have never let me do a reality TV show.
You were exclusive.
Well, they just were no. I mean, because I'm not here to unpack all of that, but Paige and I were basically talent, but being paid as producers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure a lot of people get that, but so.
You wear many hats in this industry. Yes.
And they wouldn't have let me be on camera for something totally different.
That's true.
So I was I'm in no position to say no. Let me call him back and see what happens. And then I just it kind of just kept going. And then I don't know, 3 weeks later, I got a contract emailed to me, and they were like, "You start filming in a month. Get ready to rip it." And then we did that, and then so I went into the show meeting a bunch of beautiful women and cool dudes as a stranger, being like, "Oh, I just got laid off. I don't have a job."
Yeah.
And then Complex offered me while we were filming on a Friday. Insane. So that was a part of the show, which was cool. And then I started at Complex,
which is separate from your
now
show.
I'm just a producer and I guess pseudo talent at Complex. But
yes. And for what specifically?
Started at sports, and I'll still write a little if something tasty comes across email, but kind of just helping when I can. They've been so good to me too about what I have time for, what they have time for, what we can make happen. And so now that's where I am.
Yes.
But it's been a crazy little journey.
I mean, absolutely. It's so funny though. It's to see where people come from. Because, when you think about all the pivots in your life that have led you here, it's just so astounding to look back on. And especially I grew up, in Boston, very, normal. I had no ties to the media industry whatsoever. And so looking back now, you see all the pivots and the butterfly effect of where it's led you. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm here. Do you ever have those moments that you're I just could not believe that I'm doing what I'm doing right now?
I was going to ask you, what moment to you was the biggest, career changing or decision you made that you feel led you to where you are?
I think the biggest decision that led me here is just moving to New York City.
I was going to say that too.
Yeah. Moving to New York City is the reason why my life is the way it is now. Because if I had stayed in Massachusetts, and probably had you stayed in Missouri, it would have, you just kind of would have been high and dry there,
I'll say, I think leaving college, I mean, you left when you were 18 too.
Yeah.
So when I was 18, but went to Montana, I think, although it wasn't New York, it was still somewhere new, didn't know anyone. The confidence I gained from being really, really, really uncomfortable that first year of being somewhere new. And then you look back and you're like, I can do anything I want.
Yes.
It's so hard at first, and then you just realize like stay true to you and like it'll all like everything works itself out.
Yes.
I think that learning that lesson at 18 in college then helped me do it again when I moved from Montana to New York.
Absolutely.
And then why I said yes to doing the Vegas thing. Like I think moving away from your hometown is like truly the healthiest thing you could ever do.
100%. You can go back later in life, and like I dream about going to Cape Cod soon, but like you gotta just you gotta do what you gotta do. Which it's funny. I was actually in the Hamptons yesterday, so I was looking at a house in the Hamptons, and I was sitting there and I'm like, I just can't believe like I'm here even like looking at a house in the Hamptons. And I thought about it, and then I thought of how it related to you guys. But it's just weird, like the way life goes and how sometimes you might want to go back. Like if I were to go back, I'd go to Cape Cod. I would never go back to my hometown, but
is that your beach town of choice, or like beach Cape Cod?
Yeah. I think I like the people of Cape Cod better. I'm not influencer girly. Like I don't. Hamptons is very influencer-esque now.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's super true. But I'm not like a diehard Hamptons person.
Yeah.
Like I would, if you took me to Cape Cod and it was sick, like I'd be all over it.
Well, you said you're a geography guy. Like where's your favorite place that you've been to in the United States specifically?
Ever?
Yeah.
I'm super biased, but like Montana is the coolest place literally ever.
Oh, the skiing there is my goal this year.
Well, that's sick. And then just like summertime there. 80.
Yes.
No humidity. The sun sets like behind the mountains at like 10:30.
You see some moose.
Just like it's the best. But like the town where I went to school in Bozeman is. So like, were you in Jackson when you were in Wyoming?
Yeah.
So Jackson Hole's dope, but like it feels very transplanty, where like everyone is there for
ski season.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. Bozeman, that is the case. There's like 2 different mountains, but there's also like there's 2 high schools, a big college. Like there's also like the local aspect of it.
Yes, which is nice. In Jackson Hole, the locals like can't even afford to like live there. Actually, yeah. It's
well,
crazy.
That's like becoming a thing now in Bozeman too. But it's like you still get that like hometowny vibe there, but also like the money from the tourists keeps like the restaurants and the bars like super tight. And
absolutely,
it's the best place ever.
I gotta go there one day. You gotta give me some recommendations. I definitely want to go there. I want to go to Big Sky though, especially to go skiing.
Yeah, so you fly into Bozeman to go to Big Sky.
Really?
So like when you get off the plane, there'll be like Montana State like ads and posters and people.
Are you a winter guy? Like
I'm the sweatiest.
Yeah.
Hottest. Like blooded person ever.
I'm the same way. That's why I need layers. I'd rather be cold with layers and be in the ice freezing cold during a football game. Like, see, you get it. Like, you probably go to the Kansas City games in the winter.
I don't go until December because I want to layer.
Absolutely. I could never live in like Miami. I could never ever live there or Florida.
I talk about this all the time. Like, I'll never forget when the Chiefs traded Tyreek Hill to Miami, and one of the like headlines I kept seeing was like he went there for the weather.
Who would go there for the weather?
So many people say this, and I just like,
ew, no.
No, it's crazy to me.
It's too hot there. I remember I was there for some time last year, and you couldn't even go outside within any of the winter or within the summer months because it was so unbearably hot. You would drip sweat the second. You couldn't even go to the beach. It was that hot.
This is your number one green flag so far.
I am a winter girly through and through. So many girls are like, summer. And I like boating. I like sailing. I like the ocean. I like all those things. But my God.
Yeah.
Put me on a mountain and like just, love it. That's why I like skiing and snowboarding.
What do you keep your home AC at?
Oh, cold at all. So in the winter, actually, I saw in the summer AC on 24/7, but in the winter in New York City, I don't even turn my heat on.
Keep your windows open?
I do open the windows. I left in my apartment, but I don't turn the heat on, and even the hardwood floor is cold, and I love it. It's so nice. And then when people come over, I have to turn the heat on.
Twin.
Because really?
Twin.
See, everyone's like, summer. I'm like, you don't get it, though. Like, you don't sweat, and you don't get frustrated in the heat. I get frustrated. I get overstimulated, and my car gets hot, and I don't like getting in the car when it's hot. It's the whole thing. All my drinks melt right away.
I could talk about this with you for hours.
I can go on and on why summer is the worst, but it's thank God. People think I'm crazy when I talk about that.
No.
Thank God. Thank God.
That's beautiful.
Also, I can straighten my hair in the winter. I have curly hair. In the summer, I can't straighten it. It gets curly and crazy, and then I look like a mutt. So, and so many things.
I hope at least one person reaches out to me or you after this podcast and is like, I also can't do hot weather, and I think it's gross and horrible.
Exactly. Like, in the winter, I remember like texting my friends being like, let's go on a ski trip. And they're like, let's go on a tropical vacation. I'm like, no, I'm going to appreciate my season when I have it. That's why I really want to go to Montana's, because I know it's really nice in the winter. But wait, going back, how'd you actually choose your school? I never asked that.
Okay. I think you'll be able to follow this for the most part. So I grew up in Columbia, Missouri. It's where Mizzou is.
Yes.
So the quarterback coach, he was a receiver coach for a long time, ended up at quarterback coach, was my next door neighbor growing up. So my family's known him forever. And like college football coaches are like, they know each other everywhere, and like everyone bounces around forever. He knew the safeties coach at Montana State my senior year of high school. He connected me with him, went on a visit, and then that coach ended up leaving and like going to like Colorado or something. But because I went on the visit that like my neighbor organized, I like met a few of the other coaches obviously, and then they like still honored it even though the other coach left, and I went preferred walk on.
Really?
Yeah, I went preferred walk on, and then but also like I always wanted to, so then football aside, I always wanted to go west. Like I just thought like the mountains were cool.
Well, west.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. And then like Bozeman just was dope. Like it also, Montana, there are no pro teams. There's only 2 D1 schools, so Montana and Montana State. So like that's all they have.
Yeah. So you are Montana. When you go there, you're like a celebrity.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
And like I like the like pre-games, during the game, student section, post-game, tailgates, like it felt like there were moments where we got treated better than I'd seen like Mizzou players get treated. Like it's just like the coolest place ever.
Really?
Yeah, and like I was like,
did you get offers from other schools though?
Yeah, but most were like small D1 or D2 schools like in the Midwest, and I was like,
you're like, meh.
Football is really hard.
Yeah.
I'm gonna like not beat around the bush. Like I just love the sport, but that would be a really hard sport to play and go to like a school where like you don't get the benefits of being a football player.
Yeah, like a D2 school, like where they don't have nice locker rooms, good food, good staff, the whole thing. You got to go up if you're going to do football.
And so I just thought like this place, even if like I like fall out of love with the sport or like I'm not playing as much as I want to, I'll still get like the perks, and it'll be like fun to play football here. Exactly. Which makes me sound probably like shallow and
no,
like,
you'll be in the football house. You'll be the
purist,
guy.
but like it was really fun. And yeah, my football career was very like up, down, and like weird, but I still like love that school, love that town. And like now I think this is insane.
Yeah.
The transfer portal, I like NFL dreams, set them aside for this conversation. Like
I was gonna ask, I'm like, did you ever think you were gonna go to the NFL?
I'm like a 6-foot white safety, so I kind of like gave up on NFL dreams by the time I was like 18.
Yeah.
But the portal now, I'm like, dude, when these dudes are like 27 at a party or like a work happy hour, where do they tell people they went to school? Like they transferred 3 times. I'm like, who do you root for when you're an adult? Where do you tell your kids you went to school? Like, what do you decorate your house with
There's
like
no loyalty.
alumni stuff? Like I am so proud to have gone to Montana State. Like, that's my place.
No, you seem like a real one. I feel like if you were in school right now in the age of NIL, in the age of like social media, when it comes to athletes and all this Hollywood stuff, I feel like you would hate it. Like that's like the vibe I get from you, because I have a strong opinion on that.
I sound like an old head purist right now, but I would have like slayed NIL though. I was just a few years too late.
Oh, absolutely. No, that's the thing. What do you think has changed the most in college and just professional sports since like you played?
I don't want to sound like literally like an old grumpy guy, but like
no, I sound like a woman all the time.
The loyalty part makes me sad.
Yeah, me too.
Like that sucks.
We've lost the whole idea of what it was supposed to be.
And for me, so like we're an FCS school, we're like a lower tier D1, right? So like a smaller D1. If we have we'll say for football and for basketball, women's basketball, our women's basketball team made the tournament this year. They're all leaving. Yeah. Like that, it just and I get it. Like I don't blame the player either. But it blows that like we recruit people, they're really good, and then
they're
like,
gone.
Oregon can offer them more money, so they're gonna go.
Yeah.
And better chances to like, I don't know, probably get drafted, whatever.
But these announcements of where these kids are going nowadays kind of just mean nothing because they're going to do another transfer within a year, and then that's going to be another big announcement, and then the Twitter thread's going to go viral, and it's like a whole thing.
We had kids announcing that they weren't transferring.
Yeah.
Like graphics that said I'm staying.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is insane.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's just so much back and forth, and people don't look to build a legacy at schools anymore. It's the whole sportsman-like conduct has really just become so modernized to a point where like I can't really follow it too much. It's just become very Hollywood, but I believe athletes should be paid. I do like that athletes are getting paid, but it has become very Hollywood, and I think even athletes, while getting paid, have lost the sight of what they're supposed to be doing and why they're there, and what they're supposed to be setting the example of. A lot of it has to do with like character. I think they're just not teaching character really anymore in these athletes.
But so now I'll pivot sides here, which is why I'm like not anti-athlete or whatever, but like even if we were like have good character, like have morals, be loyal to the school that like offered you when you were in high school, and then Texas said transfer from Montana State will give you and your family like life-changing money. Exactly. Like how do you say no? There's no way to be like no.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's what sucks. And that's why like the NCAA tournament now, like this isn't my own idea, but the reason there were like way less Cinderellas is because those Cinderella schools, like the high seeds that make it to like the Sweet 16, Elite Eight, whatever, are usually carried by like one or two upperclassmen who are like fucking nice and they're like really good. They stayed there and they kind of like built a team around these dudes. But now if a small school has anyone who's good, by the time they're a sophomore, they're at Florida.
They're
like,
gone.
It just like it's made college sports like the loyalty part does make me sad.
Absolutely.
And I don't want to sound like a old grump, but like
no, I'm an old grump. I'm more of a traditional person when it comes to all this stuff. I can't get along with all the trading and the moving around because then God, I work in sports. How am I supposed to remember where you go to school now? You're changing every year. It's even with NBA, it's hard.
Okay, the other thing that's weird, and I will not blame overtime for this. But like high school kids being like famous by the time they're like 16.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Is crazy too.
That's what I mean though. It's cool, I think, if you do it right. And doing it right, I think, just means like maintaining your character. But the whole Hollywood attitude that I think a lot of young famous kids have it just bewilders me.
Does it weird you out that or like mic'd up high school basketball players? Yeah. It's like so gross.
It's like I feel bad because I sound like an old lady. Like your childhood. Like you kind of miss out on like the genuine memories of what it was before you get big. I think getting famous at a young age is just tough on anybody. But we all have access to it now, and kids have access to it, and kids' parents are putting them in these spotlights a lot of times too. And so they lose out on, which, it's great making money and it's great to have fame. It leads to many, many opportunities. But you do find yourself later in life looking back, which I would assume being like, damn, I wish I had a little more of like time to myself to like grow, to build, to form opinions. But when you're shoved into an audience, you become what they want and what they see you as. And you kind of get stunted at that age.
Yeah. Football, it's way less bad than basketball, just given that your teams are bigger and like
your face is covered.
Your face is covered is huge. But yeah, I mean, basketball, like... Dude, they're like media spectacles for AAU events for like 9th graders.
It's nuts.
And I'm like, how do you like what?
They haven't even had puberty yet, and like they're like out here. It's mic'd up during a game is like crazy to me. And like I don't know. Also with like NBA players' sons and whatnot.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
The whole there's so much I could talk about sports. I gotta have you on a second time just to purely talk sports because I feel like I can debate with you all day long and
What's
agree
your
with you.
sports take then? I'm curious. Something that you think. I mean, we kind of align with NIL though.
We do, yeah. My hot sports take is, I mean, like maybe like a current one is that people shouldn't be so hard on, I guess, remember, I can't even put it into words actually at the very moment. I guess like I posted a TikTok recently about how I think people are too crazy within having NBA players or just any famous athletes, kids, being perfect the second they step onto a court.
Yeah.
Like they are a completely different
Athletically
person.
speaking, or like as people?
Athletically speaking, like people being so hard on Bronny, and I'm like, do you
Okay.
expect him? I get it why we joke around thinking they're gonna pop out of the womb dunking, but like, are we really gonna expect a kid to be ready for the NBA? With like even Lonzo Ball when he got on, like he wasn't ready his like first season, and like, you know, his dad like taught him everything and like wound him up. But like it's hard going from that level, and I think people are just too hard on these athletes. I don't care how big your name is. Like,
well, that take would
ridiculous.
be, if someone agrees with you, then I think they would say like that's why he should have been like G League and not on the Lakers like opening day. Or what is it in the NBA? Tip off in opening day? No.
Yeah, home opener.
Opening night, whatever.
Yeah, home
Baseball's
opener. So many words
day,
for it.
Whatever the first game is in the NBA season.
Home opener.
Yeah, but he like did well.
Yeah. But people were like shitting on him, and I'm like, what do you expect? Like, you gotta build yourself up. Everything in life is a transition. Why do we expect Superman to pop out on the court the first day? Like, we gotta relax. You're lucky actually if you pop out the first day. Performing is not easy. It's not. It's especially with a sport. It's like, God, what are we doing? But wait. And I actually need to know though. Do you have like an NFL comparison for yourself when you were playing football?
Oh God. No, but this is like. So I loved the Jets for like 2 seasons when I was in 9th grade because they had 2 white safeties. And I thought those guys were like.
You're like, that's me.
I was like, I really look up to these guys.
Yeah.
It was Eric Smith and I think Jim Leonard was his name. Mm-hmm. Eric Smith, Jim Leonard. Yeah. No, but I wore number 29 because of Eric Berry. Do you remember Eric Berry for the Chiefs? I went to Tennessee. He beat cancer.
Yeah.
I looked up to him
growing up
forever.
So he was your favorite player growing up?
Favorite Chief probably of all time. Mm-hmm. Like didn't wear gloves, like taped his knuckle, just like the coolest guy.
Sick. Just like homegrown, great athlete.
I wish he could have been a part of. The weirdest part about the Chiefs now getting all these Super Bowl rings is that like all my childhood Chiefs role models like just missed it by like 5-10 years, you know. They
got a lot of young bucks now on the team. Well, I guess Travis Kelce's in his 30s, and then Patrick is like what 28, 29. But like, if you're football, the average NFL career I think is like under it's like 2 to 5 years or something like that. Like you're lucky if you make it past 5 years in the NFL. So. You know, you only get so much time, and that is definitely a physical contact sport in the sense of, like, you're getting really beat up depending on what position you play. But have you ever interviewed someone and gotten, like, starstruck that you're, like, or just, like, met someone, had interaction with an athlete that you were, like, damn.
I got a Mahomes interview last year.
Are you serious?
Which was, for me, like, I don't know if I'll probably ever beat that.
That's insane. Do you remember what you asked him?
Yeah, we did a game. We did it like a little franchise thing called I Got Time Today, where it's basically like mean tweets. Yeah. But we did like funny ones, like whatever, and just had people like read the tweet. So I did that one with him, which was fun. And then we talked potential three-peat. We talked golf a little. And then like probably something else that I can't remember. But that was like also I was the only person who got like it was just me, him, and like 2 other people in the room.
That's sick.
And so for me that was like probably one of the coolest things ever. You
got the personal interaction versus just trying to get them for a split second with your mini mic while they're on like a red carpet, which is so hard to do.
That's like way more like cool. Like I'm sure getting someone to sit in here obviously way sicker than any mini mic like media scrum thing.
Absolutely. That's sick.
No, like I'll probably never beat that.
I mean, I would never. I have a moment like that too, where I'm like, I'll never beat that ever again. Like,
who's yours?
Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
But it wasn't an interview. It was an interaction at like a party, and I walked up to him. My friend like moved out of the way, and Dwayne looks down. He's like, "I know you." He's like, "You talk your shit, girl. I see you talking your shit." And then I didn't even have to ask for a photo. He was like, "Let's get a flick."
Really?
And I was like, "Dude, I didn't even have to ask." But the best part is he had his sports jacket like unbuttoned and no shirt underneath, and his buddy was like, "Dwayne, button that up." So,
what party was it?
It was NBA All-Star 2022 in Utah. I don't know whose party it was. It was just a party, but it was like a bunch of players were there. And so like normally I don't like to bother players. Like I don't like to talk to them, but my buddy who I was with was a player, and so he walked up to him. Obviously, they dap each other up, and then my buddy moves out of the way because he's freaking 7 feet million tall. And then Dwayne looks down and sees me, and I was like, "Stop!" So I'll never top that because they say don't meet your idols.
Yeah, it's sick.
But Dwayne gave me the best interaction to ever remember. I don't know.
And you liked him, like you loved Dwayne Wade before that happened.
Love Dwayne Wade.
That was sick.
It's a cute story though. My crush in 6th grade really liked Dwayne Wade, so I was like, oh, I like Dwayne Wade now too, and so that's what started.
I love that.
Yeah, and they won the championship that year too in 2012 and 2013. So like, middle school was like fun for me watching Dwayne Wade. I was like, I chose a good one. But wait, that's so funny. So that was like my full circle moment. Where do you see yourself in the next like 5 years? I understand you have a lot going on now, a lot of projects upcoming.
My dream, like, I like to interview people too. And I don't think, like, I don't know if I want it to be podcast form necessarily, but I do think like some form, like I like to like get to know other people, and I think I can like take people on like fun routes. Like everyone interviews their own style or whatever. But I would love to like grow that part of my career, and I think the start of that is some more like regular scheduled like platform.
Yeah. Like
I've
traditional
just been,
TV
so
or
busy.
digital?
No, like,
still?
I like even if it's at Complex, like I'll stay there, and just like grow that. Just something that's like my, like something I can own.
Yes. West show.
Because a lot of the interviews I've done have all been like they're very like one-off based. You know?
Mine too. Yeah. There's nothing like it's hard to build a series. Like this is me trying to build my series. I went from like being solo pod. Then I had Alex. Then Alex left, and so now this is me trying to. God
damn it, Alex!
I know. I never forgave him for that. But no, we're still buddies. I still love him so much. But it's funny though because you give very genuine vibes. And I feel like, in the age of where everyone has podcast equipment, even people comment that under mine. I feel like you would do a really good job like hosting your own show and really showcasing yourself. And, I wanted to ask you this because some people, have different opinions of themselves. Like, I feel like I'm getting a genuine you, but do you feel you represent yourself accurately in the media whenever you're doing any of your projects?
Wow, that's a really good question.
Yeah, or do you sometimes feel like people don't know you?
Because I'm on a reality show, I like have felt misperceived 100 times.
Yeah.
And that to me is the hardest part when like if I did something that I know I like fucked up and people are mad at me, then like okay, like I get it.
Yeah, you just own it.
But there have been a few times where like I thought either I presented something poorly or maybe someone else like relayed something that I said and like I just don't think it like read correctly, and when I'm misperceived I struggle just like swallowing that and moving on.
Yeah. They gotta.
So that happens a lot, but I think the good thing with like us hosting stuff is that we can kind of like that's why I like it, is because we're talking to other people and you like we both care about other people and like ask questions because we care. And I think it would be really hard to come off like a dick or like host an interview show or a podcast for that long. Yeah. If you weren't genuine,
That's right. Yeah.
Which is why I like to interview, because I feel like you get to be genuine and like you're just showing like one, you're smart, knowledgeable, you like whether you studied or you know a lot about this other person or you just are like have enough general knowledge to be able to talk to someone for a long time.
Yeah.
And then two, just like good social skills, good banter, like be able to keep going.
Yeah.
And so
it really shows a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that part, like I think whether it's like my career, that part's easier to kind of like be who you want to be.
Absolutely.
But TV is way harder.
Absolutely. It's
almost inevitable because like
it is.
This is weird, but people like get bored if you're like perfect the whole time. And not that I'm ever like trying to like fuck stuff up, but like it just happens.
Yeah.
Because we're all humans.
Exactly.
And so yeah, I've had to learn to like just how to like manage that stuff better, but I'm still learning every day.
Has it given you thicker skin though, being digested in so many multiple different ways and through different narratives and perspectives through others?
Yeah. I mean, the hardest part was like it started out like really, 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 really good.
Yeah.
For me. And so I kind of fell into the habit of like reading everything, or even in some instances like hunting stuff down, and like just like digesting so much good stuff, and then it all got really bad basically like overnight.
Yeah, but we go through waves. It goes through waves. Yes.
So I've like now I have like the show I'm on is called Summer House. Like I have hashtag Summer House like muted on everything, just because you can get so like engulfed into it, and it also makes your relationships with other people weird, because it's like the internet is saying stuff about you and someone else, and it's not even you two communicating, but it like your body reacts to, or your brain I guess reacts to the things you read like one way or the other. Yeah. And you just have to have moments where you like take a breath and you're like, this is so weird. But then like with this, and you probably know, if you aren't on your phone, none of it exists.
I always say, once you take the phone, you put it down, it only lives on the phone. Literally. What matters is between you and someone else, and the way you treat people, and your morals and your values, and the people that know you will know that. And I always wonder that though, because I couldn't imagine being digested in so many ways. And I have been. I never thought that I'd be on a spotlight myself. And it's happened to me before, where people are just, they make narratives about you, and you have to grow the skin to realize, okay, they don't actually know you. Yeah. They're seeing this one thing, and there's going to be 1,000 different opinions. Not all of them are going to be bad, but you just got to learn to like let it bounce off and realize you can just put the phone away. And then guess what? People aren't saying that to you in real life. No one's saying that to you. No one's calling you up and being like, hey, like no one's doing that.
The weird part with your brain too is like, I could give you 10 comments about you, 9 of them so nice, 1 of them like hurtful, and you would only remember like,
you have the visceral reaction to the bad one.
Yeah.
And you don't focus on the good ever. But I think that's just, it's human nature. It's what we're bound to do, because in our brain we look for solution. And so when someone says something bad and it's something specific, we're like, wait, but like why? And we need the why, we need the how, we need the when, and we need to fix that. We need to fix in our brains. But when you learn you don't need to fix everyone's opinion of you, it's such a blissful thing. And I think like I've gone through that within like the last 2 years of my life, especially like, as I've gotten older. I started in this industry when I was 18 and you started a couple years ago too. So like you learn as you get older how to just be human again in a way, which is, it's weird to say, but it's always an evergreen process of growing and learning. And I'm sure you've definitely gone through phases of like, really, groundedness, I don't even know if that's a word, just being really grounded, and then also just being like maybe really low. And so do you have any advice perhaps for people out there that may be dealing with anything on social media? Because I feel like a lot of influencers and stuff, I feel like just don't know how to deal with media, with perception.
I'm still learning too.
Or just any West advice. Yeah. Any life advice from West.
I mean, we kind of covered it. I do think realizing that so the worst I ever feel is if I'm like hungover in bed by myself. If I'm outside. Or with friends, and I could read the meanest shit about me, and I'm like, who gives a fuck?
Exactly.
Like, I do think hibernating and kind of like, and this is more just like mental health, I guess, in general, but like, I don't think you're doing yourself any favors by kind of like
marinating.
Yeah. And like, I think people are probably different. Like, I am someone who like, I need to go outside and like turn up. Like, that's when I'm at.
No,
like,
same.
Yeah.
I literally posted a TikTok recently, and I was like, just go outside and like listen to the birds and talk to your neighbor, and like, you're fine. Yeah, you're fine.
Be good. But I also think like, this is cliche too, but like the people who are talking shit on you, like, dude, no one better off than you is
talking shit.
Hating on you,
Oh, I always say no one sexy, hot, of any value, status, wealth, anything is ever talking shit. They're never talking shit because they don't need to.
The other thing too, another one that I think about that helps me is like, think of everyone you admire or like look up to. And so me, I'm like, who do I love? Like, or who do I consume? Like, okay, let's say a Pat Mahomes or Barack Obama. Like whatever. These are people who like, well, politics is a little different. Let's just say Patrick Mahomes. Like, so many more haters and so many more people saying like mean shit about him than me. Like, it unfortunately is a part of kind of the world we're in. Yeah. But it's also inevitable.
It is.
So like, everyone that we like, name anyone who's at Met Gala last night getting ripped apart.
Oh, absolutely.
And no matter what they wore, no matter how they did their hair. Like,
they don't care.
No.
They don't give a damn. That's the thing. You got to look at who you admire. Think of the amount of scandal and authority, or just all the things that they've gone through and been policed about, they're fine. They're just living their damn lives. And I look at that too. I just read Chelsea Handler's book, and I'm like, you know what? I got to live more like Chelsea Handler. Freaking love that woman. And she's been through so much shit in her life that she's gone up and down. You just got to realize, like, hey, it goes on. When we're 80, no one's going to think about the stuff you did on TV or the things that I did on social media. No one's going to think about it. You're going to be 80 years old in your rocking chair, like, being like, damn, I lived. Like, I did a good job. I feel like that's, like, a big piece of it, too. You're my first person on my podcast that I've had that's, like, done reality TV. So it's like, I feel like you just have different perspectives to offer. Yeah. And I can definitely sense that from you.
What's your take on dating in the public eye? Would you ever do that again? It's horrible.
It was awful.
It sucks, right?
Yeah. The last person I dated was, don't consider myself like anybody. I just work in sports. Yeah. And so I wasn't used to dating someone in the public eye, and my last relationship was, and it just felt like not real life sometimes.
Yeah,
like,
it's crazy.
People screaming like your boyfriend's name, and you're like this one. You're like this guy. You're like, that's just my best friend. But like, I think dating in the public eye just sucks in terms of a lot of people lose themselves in the characters that they believe to be, that they are, and what their audience makes them as. And so if someone can separate and compartmentalize the character they are to the world versus who they are behind closed doors, that's fine. But a lot of people can't separate that.
No, I agree, because, again, I've been on the show for like 5 seconds. There are people who have been doing it for 10 years. And I'm like, it would probably be so challenging to, like, detach yourself from this, I hate to say character, but like to the
world, you're a character.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
It's what do you think about it? Do you have
I just think that's why I like want to keep a job outside of the show too, is because like it gives me purpose outside of it. Well, and just like a good sense of self-identity that is not attached to
what people know you as.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, well, that's like, if I'm at a bar and people say, what do you do? I say I work at Complex.
I love that.
Yeah, I don't say the show.
Because it's your hobby and it's your interest and it's your personality, and that's what you have. There's a total disconnect between being in the public eye and what you do there versus who you are behind closed doors. And there should be a disconnect. You shouldn't be overlapping the two entirely. Like, a lot of people don't know a lot of things about me, and then I meet them, I start dating them, and they're like, oh shit, like, didn't know. And I'm like, yeah, you gotta be your own person inside. So when you're dating, do you find that a lot of people put you into a box, or are you able to actually connect with people on a real level?
Oh, dating like in person? No, I think anyone I've like gone on a date with or talked to or whatever, they're not, keyboard warriors who watch reality TV. Like, the girls I've gone on dates with are all like very normal and cool.
So you don't date other people in the public eye?
I did once, and it was awful.
Oh god, yeah. Same.
I mean, like, I kind of fucked it up. Like, I didn't handle everything like perfectly. But I also think like,
I don't think anyone does.
Yeah, I do feel like it. Like, I mean, it was a year and a half ago, and like I still have to fucking talk about it today. And I'm just like, dude.
Yeah. That's the thing about being public eye, though, is people don't let you forget. Yeah. Ever. People still bring up my ex-boyfriend all the time to me, and I'm like, I don't care if you think he fumbled or if you think I fumbled the bag. Like, I don't care. That person's off living their life.
I should mute that word.
What, fumble?
I'm going to mute fumbled on my
I want to mute fumble, too. You think blocking someone that people can't still tag them in their photos? Oh, they can. So it's ridiculous. Social media is just like one big pit of stupid comments. But, I mean, personally, I prefer to date people not in the public eye and people that don't even actually like really follow what I do, because it's just easier. I'd rather get to know someone on a real level. Yeah. I don't know. It's better just to like join a club, join like a book club, join a sailing club. That's what I do. And then I'll find someone organically through my hobbies. I don't need someone that's the thing. A lot of people are transactional nowadays, and they want someone to date that's more famous or rich than them. Yeah. So they go up in the hierarchy, and it's like, dude, are you in love, or are you just like climbing the social ladder? A lot of people are climbing the social ladder nowadays. And you see that in influencer relationships. They all date each other. And it's like, why do we never see anyone dating someone outside of media? I have a strong opinion on that.
I fell into it once or twice.
It happens.
I'd be a hypocrite if I sat up here and I was like,
no, my last relationship was total hypocrisy of what I just said.
Okay, that's good.
But you gotta, in my brain, I'm so far removed from all that stuff that like, I feel like I can date normally, but I'm not on your level of being on TV. So I'm not sure how it is for you, but
I've been taking a break.
Yeah.
So I'm just chilling right now. But
So do you see yourself like ever settling down once you're done with like TV and whatnot?
I like to think that. Like I envision my future like dating, get married, like all the like normal stuff. But when I wake up, like when I woke up today, no part of me craves. Like I don't need that like stability. Like I like to just go. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
me too.
I do like attention and like like love.
Yeah.
But I don't. I just feel like I'm moving so fast in every capacity that like I don't see myself like stopping like my like dating life, the speed of it right now. It just is like
the going on dates part of it and all that.
Just like kind of just like everything being last minute and kind of spontaneous and whatever.
Hey, 30's the new 20, but honey.
And especially in New York.
Yeah, especially in New York. A 30-year-old man in New York City, especially yourself, you have like 15 more years of like fun time USA, and then you'll be like, okay, maybe I should get away.
Hopefully not 15, but I've got a little bit more left in the tank.
Yeah, in 30's the new 20. You have so much time. People used to be like, oh my god, 30. Like 30's not. It's nothing. Like I'm 25, and I'm like,
my parents had me at 24, dude.
Are you serious? Mine started having kids at like 22. So like
psychotic.
It's weird. And now they're like, damn, we have the whole world at our fingers.
My mom's been like, it's crazy. Like once my brother left. She was like, a lot of our friends still had kids in the house or like in school.
Yeah.
And she's like, we're just chilling.
Really?
And it's sick. And both my parents still like very much work and have passions and hobbies. And so like, they're like stoked right now. They're just crushing.
Really? Wait, is your brother older or younger?
Younger.
How old?
26.
Oh, what does he do?
He's a software engineer at Capital One in Chicago.
Is he still in Chicago right now? Like he's based there?
Yeah.
Do you guys see each other often?
We tried to. I mean, like Christmas, Thanksgiving, all that shit all the time.
Yeah.
But then I went to Chicago for St. Patrick's Day and saw him. And then I might see them this summer if I can find time. But like my families love each other. We're very close, but not codependent. Like if I go months without seeing someone, like no one cares.
Yeah,
like, it's fine.
It's like they'll see you and they see
you. But my
you.
mom comes tomorrow.
No way!
Yeah,
to New York City?
Yeah, she comes to New York like once a year.
Stop!
Yeah.
Wait, where are you going to take your mom?
So we're doing dinner Upper West Side tomorrow.
Ah, you're across the pond.
Thursday. Have you been to Lore Fish Bar?
Yes.
I haven't been, and so we're going to go.
Are you joking? Favorite place.
Rocks?
They have a really good uni carbonara, I believe it is.
Okay.
Or delicious.
Okay.
So good.
So I'm doing that before my kickball game at 8:30, which is psycho. So like a big dinner before kickball, which is weird.
Oh god.
Which I might, if my mom wants to come watch kickball, she can come. And then Friday, I'm gonna do like a Broadway show with her.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Little like mommy West date night,
And
date
then
weekend.
I'm guest bartending at a bar on Saturday if you're around.
Which bar?
82 Stanton.
Wait, I did that. I did that at 310 Bowery. I was the worst. I'm never getting invited back.
Oh.
I literally gave everyone free drinks.
Oh yeah, that's like the whole point.
But like I didn't know how to put a drink into a POS system. I was like, what is this? Like when I worked at a restaurant in high school, it was a buffet and it was for elderly people. So like there was no POS system. Like it was like ridiculous. So I was there and I remember people kept asking for drinks and I didn't know how to make anything. I was like, oh, you want a shot of vodka? Okay. Boom. Someone was like, oh, can you open me a beer? I was like, oh, shot of vodka. Yeah, I got you. I did not know what I was doing, but wait, I know I'm coming to that Saturday.
Yeah.
No, wait, what time?
3 to 6.
Do you know how to make drinks?
Like I can fake it though.
Yeah. Fake
like if
so
someone
make
says
it.
something, I'm like.
Like if they ask for a green tea shot, just pour them vodka.
Yeah.
They don't. At that point, if you're asking for a green tea shot, they're not gonna know the difference.
Yeah, or just say like we're out.
Wait, do you have a drink of choice when you go out?
If it's an empty stomach and it's like early in the night,
very specific.
I've been ripping Guinness for like good. I went to Dublin was it 2 summers ago?
Split the G.
I have in my Hot Takes app.
Yeah. A Hot Takes app or a Notes app?
Notes app.
You have Hot Takes?
I put the other day.
We love a man with like actual notes in his phone.
Splitting the G is over.
Wait, what's the other one? Can you read me your hot takes on your Notes app?
I love the dentist. The Delta Lounge is lame. Clear is a cult. Like Clear at the airport.
Wait,
they like walk you around.
I can't believe we haven't been friends before. I have so
Dude, the
many
worst
agreements.
one. I know some people on this team, so it's gonna I hope they don't watch this. I'm so over the Savannah Bananas.
Oh my god. Okay, wait. I can't believe we have not been I can't believe we haven't met before.
Yeah.
I was at the Delta Sky Lounge in Miami 2 days ago and I was like, this sucks.
It's
Clear.
boring.
Oh my god, Clear. But I'm Diamond Medallion on Delta. I'm like, why is this not elevated a little more? Clear is fake. I never use it. I only get it free because I have an Amex. Savannah Bananas, I used to be obsessed with 2 years ago, and I don't know if I follow them anymore. I get it, but I don't know if I truly get it. I don't know if it's really baseball or just a musical. And then what was the other one? The Dentist. Love The Dentist. I leave with my teeth feeling so clean and beautiful, and they use a delicious toothpaste on me. I like it. And then 5, and they compliment me because I floss. And then 5, what was the 5th one?
Oh, you might be the only one. And then splitting the G's over.
Splitting the G is totally over because everyone can do it. It's not that hard.
But
it's
also
not that hard.
No. And I just Guinness became a thing. It's like when you think you're early to something and everyone does it right after.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I kind of like Guinness. And then now everyone does. So whatever.
Yeah, and not everyone can be
but it is
West,
light,
but they all want to be West. What is it?
Do you know Guinness is very light?
Yeah.
It's like a light beer.
I actually like Guinness a lot.
It's good.
It's so good. I got to go to Ireland. I always wanted to go there. That's my next trip. Ireland and Germany and Copenhagen is where I really want to go.
It's like a 5-hour flight. You can rip it so easy.
So easily. Just a little weekend trip.
Yeah.
Wes, that was amazing. Thank you so much for coming on. If you want to shout out your socials on here.
Ooh. At Westling Conrad, which is my full government first name.
Which I was going to ask about, and then I figured.
It's my mom's maiden name.
Really?
So they just gave it to me.
Oh, I love it.
And then I'm still one of the only people who loves Twitter.
Mm-hmm. I don't even use Twitter.
Which is at Conrad Wilson, I think, or something.
Yeah.
But
are you a Snapchat guy, TikTok guy?
Oh, I mean, I'm on TikTok, yeah.
Yeah. At Westland Conrad again.
I think TikTok's Westy Wilson. None of them are the same.
So many different usernames going on.
But
same idea, though.
Twitter is all my sports takes.
Oh.
I talk sports on Twitter all day.
Well, sports Twitter is brutal, so I'm actually shocked you jump into the Lion's Den the way you do there. But
mine is I'm no one's following me as a journalist. They're following me as a fan.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying funny stuff.
And they're just like, hell yeah, Wes. They just love it.
Yeah.
And I gotta go follow you on Twitter after this. Well, that was amazing. Thank you so much, guys. Meg on the mic. Great episode. And cut.